living in Northern Ireland, and I remember seeing, there must have been a video on during the day one day, and I must have been 7 or 8. But I remember seeing Jerry and the Pacemakers singing Ferry Across the Mersey. And the video was of them on the ferry boat going across the River Mersey. And it was just amazing that there we ended up living in Wallasey, and we used to walk down the promenade and get on that same ferry that Jerry and the Pacemakers were on, and we'd go on the ferry and go over to Liverpool for the day.
People around every corner, they seem to smile and say, we don't care what your name is, boy, we'll never turn you away. So ferry, cross the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love, and here I'll stay, and here I'll stay, here I'll stay.
I'll start with one. I'll start the whole thing in order. Born in Southern Ireland, moved to Bangor, Northern Ireland. My dad got a job up there, so he went on up ahead of time. As my mom was at the train station, and she kept not getting on the train because she didn't want to leave Southern Ireland. And she kept going back to the old house and to her next door neighbour, Bridie Garland. And she said, Evelyn, you got to get on that train. You got to get on that train. Dave's waiting for you. So I think she said like 4 trains go by before she moved, before she finally got on it. And so from the age of 3 till I was 8, 8.5, we lived in Bangor, Northern Ireland, which was beautiful, beautiful seaside town at the time. We had a nice house, beautiful big garden. Of course, we were Southern Irish Catholics. Lived in Northern Ireland, which is very Protestant. When they moved into Spring Hill Avenue in Bangor, Northern Ireland, the next door neighbours actually moved across the street because they did not want to live next door to Catholics. We weren't caught up in the troubles. I mean, my dad actually worked in Belfast, and Bangor was only maybe like 8-10 miles away from Belfast, but it was a whole different world. Like, we never heard of the troubles. I mean, I remember seeing, I think, soldiers walking down the high street once and on the promenade once with the guns. But otherwise, we were never exposed to it. When my dad had lost his job, and he says again, he thinks it was religion was part of that. Then they blew up the Co-op, which was our only department store. And then they said, you know what, it's time to get out of here. It's time to move. My aunt, who lived in England, said, come to England, there's work over here. So that's how we ended up moving to England. We lived with my aunt for a while. And I think it got a bit much because there were 6 of us all living in one room in my aunt's house. And they said the only way to get a house was for my mum and the 4 kids to go into a shelter. So we lived in a shelter for 2 months. But we got a house. And then we lived in that house for like 16 years. So it was a council house. I remember that first Christmas. I remember a man from the town hall came, and again, like, my mum and dad were so poor. I mean, we didn't have anything, you know, and they couldn't afford to buy us Christmas presents or anything. And I will never forget, you know, he bought us all some like second-hand toys. He bought us all just something to give to each of us. And I'll never forget, I got a little doll called Amanda Jane, and a little brown suitcase with some little doll's clothes in it, and I still have that suitcase. I think the doll's probably long gone, and probably need little clothes for her, but I still have that little case, and I would keep my little, you know, my little treasures in that suitcase, and I still have it. No, that's it. We weren't well off. I wanted a bicycle. The rally race with the dropped handlebars, metallic blue. Oh God, it was gorgeous. I wish I had pictures. At the age of 14, I got myself a job. Worked in the corner shop. So every Saturday, I think I made £5. I always had Saturday jobs until I went off to college. And even then, I've worked the first year. I would come home every weekend, so I'd keep my Saturday job working in a record store. I got to the point where after, I think I would work all day. My boss would hand me the wages, and then I'd hand it right back and walk home with a bag of records under my arm. And of course, now I was in love with Barry Manilow. And when I was at college, I came to work in a summer camp, and I met your dad the first week I was in the country. So I went back to England to finish my degree, but I spent every holiday over here, and when I graduated, we got married, and here I am. Lived in America now for 31 years.